Hey guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon fan art. In this episode we're going to be again looking at more of Dark Sylvania's artwork, but this time it's going to be a specific focus on evolutions, as they've done quite a few. So let's get going. We're going to start off with Escorpion, the bug type evolution. It's the circuit Pokemon and evolves from Eevee at night time while holding a silver powder. This Pokemon is very reserved and is rarely seen during daytime. It is very appreciated among Pokemon breeders due to its jewel-like skin. It is said that ancient pharaohs owned them as royal treasures. So I like this design, it's very good, obviously taking inspiration from Scorpion, as it is a bug, with the stinger and obviously the kind of the claws as its ears, which look very good. And I definitely like the colouring and the design, and just generally like that. The eyes look very good, and also the yellow hints and the blue and black work well as well. Next up here we have Ethereon. It's the ghost type evolution. It is the Will-O-Wisp Pokemon and evolves from Eevee at night time while holding a spell tag. His body no longer exists, only his spirit remains, contained by the remains of what were his own bones. This Pokemon constantly generates spiritual energy, but to avoid it accumulates and destroys his terrenal form. It is exuded as bluish flames from his ears and tail. Well, again, I do like this a lot. I also like the evolution method, like leveling up at night time. The design looks pretty good here, with bone obviously, and then let's call it like ghost-like wisps and stuff like that, and also the dark, obviously, kind of dark stuff like that. But yeah, I like the design, definitely looks like it would be a ghost type evolution, and I'm going to talk about generally in the end, like all of them. Right, so now here we have Corrosion. It is the poison type evolution. It is the venomous Pokemon, and evolves from Eevee while holding a toxic orb. This Pokemon is known to be very aggressive even against bigger enemies. When he angers, he displays a thrill to treat his foe and make it go back. This Pokemon possesses poison reservoirs, one in his tail and one around his neck. His bite, claws and his skin at some degrees are extremely toxic. Now again, I like the design a lot here. Definitely looks like it would be a poison type. The green I'm not particularly sure about, but then again it does mean toxic, on some symbols and stuff. And obviously the pink and the purpley is because that's what poison's colour is in Pokemon and such. So yeah, again I like the design there, especially the frill. I can imagine that like opening and closing in battle in Generation 5 or obviously Generation 6 soon. It looks very good obviously, and the stripe patterns, how many poisonous venomous creatures are in real life. So yeah, I like it a lot. Next up we have, I think it's Zeolion. I can't exactly say that name, I'm not too sure. It is the fighting type evolution, and is the martial arts Pokemon, and evolves from Eevee while holding a focus band. His forelegs are very light and strong, giving him the ability to attack with his real weapons, his braids and tail. They are strong and hard enough to break borders. This Pokemon possesses a unique fighting style and mixes swift leg movements with strong hits of his tails. Now, obviously taking inspiration from martial arts here. I'm definitely liking the design again, not as much as the others because, I don't know, it looks a bit too, I don't even know how to say it, but yeah, it's a good design, but personal opinion, I don't like it really. But again, the leveling up, the evolving is very good. I like that focus band. Obviously it's a fighting type sort of item and such. Again, I'm liking it. Again, yeah, I'll talk about more general stuff at the end. Next up we have Quetzale, I think that's how it's pronounced, and it is the dragon type evolution. And it is the feathered Pokemon, and evolves from Eevee at daytime while holding a dragon fang, and obviously I assume when it's leveled up. This Pokemon has been known since ancient times. It is valued for his bright red plumage and its beautiful green skin. This Pokemon's feathers grow with them, and between longer and brighter they are, the healthier and stronger this Pokemon is. Ancient civilizations believe they were terrestrial incarnations of the gods. Now again, like the previous ones, the design here is very good. I like it a lot, especially since it's, I don't know what dragon it is or wherever, but I've seen dragons that look similar to it before. So again, I'm liking the design, a lot of inspiration from dragons. I don't know what the band on its tail and its legs, probably just sort of like how dragons are supposedly chained up, I suppose, and stuff like that. So yeah, again, I'm just reiterating my point here. It looks very good, especially the claws as well. Look, they're pretty good, and the markings on its legs. I'm just picking up more stuff to highlight. I'm gonna have to move on now. Next up we have Chevalion, which is the steel type evolution and is the armor Pokemon. It evolves from Eevee at daytime while holding a metal coat, so obviously, makes sense really. This Pokemon's body is made of organic metals no man has seen before, very hard and light as no other. When treated, this Pokemon will avoid fighting thanks to a very calm nature, but if it is forced to engage in the battle, it will use its flail-like tail to cause massive damage. As you can see, it's a very dangerous tail. Like the previous ones, very good design again. I like how they've done the armor as well, obviously making it very sort of armory, keeping the general evolution shape though, which is very good, obviously. Because that's what an evolution needs to do. It can't, evolve into some sort of huge monster. It needs to stay looking like an Eevee and, just generally Eevee-like. Next up we have Fossilon, I suppose. Fossilion, something like that. Anyway, it's a rock-type evolution. And it's a prehistoric Pokemon, making sense obviously. And it evolves from Eevee when equipped with the old Amber or any other fossil, so Helix, etc. With a massive muscular body and a hard stone armor, this Pokemon is a living image of a prehistoric hunter. Besides being heavy, this Pokemon reaches great speed in short-range races. His head and tail are used to be both attack and defense. This Pokemon isn't really sociable, and weak trainers can have some problems training one. Now, I like the design again. Its fangs, whoa, its fangs is amazing. Its ears as well, its back, and it's kind of like spikes, and its tail as well. Everything about this is just awesome. I would love to have one of these on my team. Rock type might not be great, but just for the design, it looks really cool. And next up we have Zeolion, I think that's how it's said. It's the ground type evolution and is the Sand Garden Pokemon, and also an Eevee when holding a soft sand, making sense yet again. And it's probably the most peaceful and serene of all Pokemon. It is always with a pleased look on its face. Its body is made mainly from compacted sand, which display waving patterns created by the wind. Sometimes its body catches little rocks or grows little patches of grass that adorn its body. Now again, I like the design again. It looks a lot like Leafeon, I find, just because of the same sort of colour scheme, except like more brown and less green, kind of. But I'm really liking it. I'd really like to see all of these in game, but I'll talk about more about it in a minute. And yeah, give me them, Game Freak, give me them! And now we're coming on to our last two evolutions here. We first have Gayleon, which is the flying type evolution, and is the wind Pokemon, and evolves from Eevee when equipped with a bright powder. Not making as much sense, but eh. As light as a feather, this Pokemon is able to literally run in the wind. This Pokemon moves with the strong currents, soaring long distances alongside the clouds. This Pokemon is considered a sign of good fortune for the travellers, and saying one will grant you a safe trip. Like all the ones we've seen before, I love the design. It looks just definitely like what an evolution that's flying would definitely look like. I want to see all these in the game. If they don't put it in some point, I will just kill Game Freak. That's, promised you guys. But yeah, again, it looks great. Its face, its ears, its tails are just brilliant. And the final evolution here is not one we're actually going to see in game because it's a light type. But here we have Asio. I think that's how it's said. It's the Guardian Pokemon and evolves from Eevee when holding a King's Rock. Now, it's said this Pokemon's soul is so pure that its own presence purifies the place where it lives and those among it. It's said that it can also live for hundreds of years without getting older. Thanks to all these qualities, ancient civilizations used to leave them outside their sacred cemeteries as eternal guardians whose only presence would purify the souls of those buried in them for all the eternity. Now, obviously they're based on sphinxes in Egypt and stuff, and obviously it's a light type, so we're not going to get something like this exactly. Obviously a fairy type evolution is possible, which actually it's not possible, we're getting one, Sylveon. What am I talking about? But yeah, I like the design on this, definitely. It's definitely taking into account the sphinx and stuff. And I like how it's using the kind of headband, the Egyptian colours, sorry. Again, I'd like to see all of them. I'm going to start talking about in general now. I'd like to see all these evolutions in the game, pretty much. I want an evolution for every single type, as the majority of people do, just simply because it would make Eevee one of the best Pokemon in the game, just simply because it would, it would look cool. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm sure you guys agree with me. Leave your thoughts on these in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time in this Pokemon fan art series. Bye guys!